What's up, you guys?
What's up, guys?
I'm here with Nate Tebow. This is his first Facebook Live. Make sure you say hi to him. Make sure you follow him because we're about to share something really awesome. We've been having lunch, well, brunch. I don't know what you'd call it.
Yeah, brunch in between there.
Yeah, and we've been having some really good conversations, and we were talking a lot about how we notice that sometimes people wait, or sometimes we'll be talking about how if we wait for things, they don't always turn out how we want, and then, you know, it's not perfect, and of course we just decided that...
Yeah, you know, people always wait for that.
Yay!
Hey, we're
back on!
So we were just talking about how, you know, people always wait for that perfect moment when the stars are aligned, and that moment never comes. There's never going to be that perfect moment to take action. There's never going to be that perfect moment to, you know, do that thing you're afraid to do. You just got to act now and make it the right moment. So people always think there's like a right or a wrong decision, and it's all up to your perception. You get to choose what's the right and the wrong decision. So make a decision, and then make it the right decision, you know, and then that's all you really have to worry about is, you know, acting in congruence with where you want to go. And we were talking about this morning, you know, we both, you know, have been coaching others for a while now, but, you know, we look back at, you know, the things we used to do, and it's funny how much we've evolved in our coaching, and it kind of like reminded me of a quote that I've seen, which is, if you're not laughing at your first launch, you waited too long to launch. So, you know, just take action now and worry about the rest later.
Yeah, and it all like connects to each other. No matter what you're doing in life, no matter what action you're trying to take, like it's all gonna relate. And if you just decide, like if you just make a decision and you decide that that decision is gonna be perfect, is exactly as it is, then that's how it'll be. We got some other people on. Anyways,
we get the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, guys, like when you actually decide to make a decision, and even when it's not perfect, like not perfect means like maybe you're thinking you don't have the money, maybe you're thinking you don't have the time, maybe you're thinking you don't have the energy, but all of that are just BS stories in your head. And the reason why these stories come up is because we have this identity that we've been stuck in for so long, and maybe it's been serving you for a while, maybe it's been helping you, maybe it's taking you on some really cool paths. But when you can actually step back from an objective point of view and like look at where you're at and ask yourself, you know, is this really taking me where I want to go? And if the answer is no, then what are you actually waiting for? Because when you take that action, what we've both found is like when you take that action, the things start to fall into place perfectly as we hope that they would before we would have taken action, right? So those things where it's like, oh, I'll just wait until this. Well, like, why don't you just put yourself in that identity now, step into that, and then make it happen?
Yeah, you got to call yourself out on your own bullshit. You got to catch yourself. You know, for me, you know, I'm here on a trip, you know, in Venice Beach here, and you know, my plan is to move here. And you know, I was having dinner with a buddy of mine the other night, and he goes, you know, well, what's the date? And I was like, hey, you know what? I haven't set a date, and that was me catching myself. I was like, all right, you know what? February 1st, that's the date.
Hell yeah,
you know,
that's
just
awesome.
Make it happen, and that's what I'm gonna do. You know, but I realized, you know, I was putting it off. I was like, well, you know, maybe in the next few months. I was like, no, just set a date and make it happen. You just, you know, once you take that action, you know, like Celeste said, you know, you start seeing progress in the right direction, and you're like, oh my God, why did I wait so long? What else am I capable of? You know, we're always looking for that perfect moment, but that perfect moment is now. You know, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. Second best time is now. I didn't make that quote up. I wish I did, but you know, there's a lot of truth to that, and you know, me and, you know, Celeste and I have seen that firsthand in our own lives, and I'm sure many of you have as well. So we encourage you to, you know, to really take that leap, you know, take that big leap of faith, and you know, stop being a victim. Stop being a victim to your excuses and you know, your self-limiting beliefs.
100%, yeah. Like we live in a world that maybe we're a little bit coddled sometimes, maybe we're a little bit babied, and it's really just a protection thing, right? Like protecting us from whatever could actually happen. But when we give ourselves what we truly want, like he truly wants to live here, and when he made the decision, like that's what it's going to be. Like there's no other option, right? Like we can't live life with all these other options, all these other maybes, potentiallys, like, oh, in the future, or, well, if this doesn't work out, then I'll do this. Why don't you just decide, like, this is the only option for me right now. This is what I commit to, and this is what I'm sticking to. And then you stick to it, and you commit to it, and because of that decision, there's literally nothing that can get in your way, because your action is going to be aligned with that decision and that decision only. So make sure, if you're watching the replay, give some love hearts for Nate because this is his first live video, which amazes me because you're awesome.
Oh.
And of course, and actually, Nate and I were talking about a question that we want to ask you guys, or give you guys something that you can do and take action right now. So,
yeah, what's something that you guys have been putting off? You know, what's some kind of like bullshit story that you've been telling yourself, you know, or some excuse? You know, I just shared mine. You know, my moving date. So, you know, what's something that you guys really want to do but you've been putting off due to whatever reason? You know, what do you need to do to take that big leap? And when are you going to do it? So.
Yeah, when are you going to do it? Let us know. Comment below. Tell us what it is. What's the plan? What's the date? And of course, make sure to follow Nate. And if you haven't gotten my book yet, now's the time. Believe your way to badass. And we will catch you guys later.
Peace.